Hi, welcome back. This is Emily from Sunshine Emms podcast. Last week, I talked about the ins and outs for me for 2026. I talked about how this podcast that was once a duo podcast is just a me podcast. I would love to talk about the topic for this week, and that is vision boards. I can speak for myself when I say that I am a huge fan of aesthetics. You may be wondering, really? Because you don't look like it. I am currently in a hoodie and leggings in the dark. But I love the aesthetics of things. Personally, it gives me a lot of motivation to do a lot. I'm the kind of kid that loves a schedule because of all the colors on it. I'm the kind of kid that loves the look of Instagram feeds, and I love when things look intentionally a certain way. Okay. I love when things are intentional with the visual. I love visually, aesthetically pleasing things, which is why I have a huge Pinterest board for my vision board for 2026. I'm going to talk about the categories of my vision board and kind of explain what the vibes are for those. And if you want to visually see it, I will have the vision board posted while this episode is out. So let's get into it, shall we? For me personally, I have a lot of plans for 2026. One of them being this podcast. I want to grow it and nurture it and build a community. So my vision board shows podcast things, right? I do have aesthetically pleasing things all over my place. Cry a lot, but I am so productive. It's an art. Everyone is welcome here. Today is a good day. Small progress is still progress. I love the way that things look. So I have a crap ton of Pinterest boards. They bring me joy, and I love those kind of phrases. And so here are some of the phrases that are on my vision board for 2026. More books, less screens. I want to read the rest of this series that I've been slowly reading. For those of you who don't know, I've been reading the Throne of Glass series. I'm on book 2. I have a hard time sitting down and giving myself the permission to do something that is not productive in some way. I'm constantly trying to do something productive. It's hard to turn off my brain. And so I definitely want to do more books, less screens, which is the opposite of like my grow plans. So we'll see how that goes. I have a phrase on here that is work on you for you. I think a lot of the time our goals are so influenced by the people in our lives. That's a great thing to have. But my goals are not for other people. Not anymore. They're for me. I have the word consistency on this board. I have do it for your future self. I have I am becoming her. I have bound to fall in love. Who knows, y'all? I might be going into this year and just about every year single. But one can dream and one can hope that I will fall in love this year. Fingers crossed. Root for me, y'all. Root for me. I have the phrase wellness is not a trend, it's a lifestyle. Feel it to heal it. You deserve a soft life. I get rich doing what I love. I am qualified for the career I want. Approved, accepted, congratulations, all in 2026. I release all fear and welcome change. Stop scrolling, start creating. You're growing. A lot can happen in a year. This one, it says, I have to do this, and it has a line through it and says, I get to do this. Go alone, rich in creativity, let love in, Actually, I can. Stronger than yesterday. Your energy is a gift. Fall in love with life. Stay hydrated. You are not too old, and it is not too late. That one I need a reminder of constantly. Rich in knowledge. I am the love of my own life. Stop waiting for everything to be perfect to be happy. Yes to new adventures. This one says vision board with a line through it and says action board. My family is happy and healthy. My family is safe, happy, and healthy. A lot of manifesting for my family this year. 1% better every day. Be addicted to your passions, not your distractions. The art of devotion, dedication, and lastly, holy shit, she did. These are all just phrases that are on my vision board, and they all mean a lot to me. I love words of affirmation. I love visualizing things. I love manifesting and envisioning and dreaming. I am a big dreamer. If you know me personally, you know how big of a dreamer I am. Like, I have a life that I want that's in my head. And there's so many steps to get there that it can be super discouraging. And so when it came to doing my vision board for 2026, I took a step back and I started with some categories. I'd love to tell you what they are. The first one I have is wellness. And wellness as a whole has many dimensions and levels there. But the ones that I wanted to focus on in this category were things about food, fitness, and sleep. And so I have a ton of images of vegetables, fruits, of baking, of trying new recipes, and that kind of fits in the food category. For fitness, I have a lot of lifting weights, going on walks, going on runs in the rain, lifting weights. I, for one, really enjoy lifting weights, but I'm trying to find movement that is also gentle as well. So I have a balance of being strong and feeling grounded. The last subcategory of wellness that I have in my categories for my vision board is sleep. And I think sleep is super important. So I have a couple photos of like comfortable beds and alarm clocks with sunlight in them. I have a sunlight alarm clock and it does wonders. My cat, on the other hand, hates this alarm clock, but I, for one, heavily enjoy it. So those are the kind of images that I have in the wellness section of my vision board and my Pinterest board. The next one that I have is specifically about career and my future career and my dream careers, all of that. Let me explain some of those real quick. I have people doing a podcast. I want to keep this podcast alive as long as I'm alive. I love talking to people and I love being on a podcast. So that's my goal for 2026 is to keep building this podcast. I have images of like editing videos and content because you can't have a podcast without being online. I mean, you can, but it's not going to build. So I have that kind of side of the career that I want and have. And then I have, wellness coaching. I have a couple certificates currently, and I will be having some more. And so I have some images of people with their certificates and that kind of vibe. And then the last part of career would be I want to get into PT school. I applied last year, and if I don't get in this year, that's okay. I will try again for next year. But I have images of a dry erase muscle study flashcard where it's like the muscle origin, insertion, action, innervation. And Kayla, if you're listening, girl, we used to study in the summers. in between semesters and went to town on these mussels. And so I saw that and I was like, well, I'm going to be having to know mussels and where they innervate and all of that for the rest of my life. And so I put it on my Pinterest board. And then another one that I have that is PT grad school specific is the one that says approved, accepted, congratulations, all in 2026. So I'm very much manifesting that I get into a program in 2026 to become a doctor of physical therapy. So root for me, y'all. Wish me luck. Please and thank you. And that kind of summarizes the second category that I have, which is career. The next category that I have on my vision board are images and dreams that I have regarding travel. I personally travel often. I don't travel as often as I used to. Growing up, I would fly cross country multiple times a year. And as I've grown up, that's happened less and less because your girl is paying for these flights and they are not cheap. But I have some images of being on a plane. I do see myself going on a plane next month, and I'll talk more about that at a later time. I plan on taking a couple road trips and adventures with my bestie Elon. And yeah, I have a couple images of friends in cars, picnics in the back, being on a plane. Your girl loves flying. I've flown the majority of my life, and so I enjoy days where I travel. And that may be a crazy take. I love being able to go to the people that I love and I care about within the day. I feel like that's really cool considering how far we usually are. So I love traveling. And that kind of summarizes the two main like I mean, I don't think I'm going on a cruise this year. I'm not manifesting that. So I don't have that kind of travel by boat, but by plane and by car for 2020. And that summarizes the travel section of my vision board. I have the category creative, and I've been working very hard to get in touch with my creativity. I'm doing the artist's way with that book and all of that fun stuff. I am trying to get into scrapbooking again. I used to make friendship bracelets for every single person I knew a million times over. Any holiday, anything. I was like, Valentine's Day, here's a bracelet. So that's kind of subsided because I'm not physically close to a lot of my friends anymore. So I'm trying to get more in touch with my creative side. Uh, my fam my family has a art room where we paint, and I plan on doing some painting and art and really getting in touch with my creative side because I, for one, really enjoy, again, the aesthetics of things. And so when it comes to creativity, in this board, I have painting, crafts, scrapbooking, a lot of journaling. I really am hoping to see more of that in my 2026. Wish me luck. The last and personally the most important category of my vision board is relationships. I have, amazing friends, an amazing family, and maybe someday partner. And so for my vision board, I have a lot of adventures with friends. What that kind of looks like is going out and experiencing things with the people that I care about. A lot of board games and card games and enjoying concerts with friends and the sunset and picnics and dinner dates and going to the movies. And I want to experience things with the people that I care about. If you recall, I have some words and messages about my family being safe. I have images of a family, sitting together and talking and again, playing board games, playing games. I love games. I love card games and strategic games and board games and the Wii. I know how long ago that came out, but I don't care. I love playing board games on the Wii with my friends and my family. And so I have a lot of people playing games with people and eating food and just like that community that I I yearn for. I yearn for a community of like-minded people who dream as big as I do, that love as hard as I do and loudly as I do. And I have I have some people in my life that do fit into that category, but I would love to make that community bigger and experience more with a lot of people. And so I guess what I'm just saying is my dreams are for me, right? And your dreams might look completely different than mine. My 2026, I plan on, being devoted and dedicated to the things that I'm passionate about. So that's just me. That's what I plan on doing. When you look at what you want for 2026, you may not want to visualize it, but I would at least write it down in some capacity so that you can reflect when the year is over, being like, I did some of the things that I wanted to do. It's like having a checklist that you get to cross off. And it's really enjoyable. I, for one, love a good checklist because I love crossing crap off. Having a vision board for me is something that I can visually see that I want my life to emulate during that year or that time frame. I make collages, I make background photos for my laptops, my iPad, my phone, constantly of the things that I want to achieve. So I'm constantly in the mindset of growing because distractions are so easy. They're so easy and they're everywhere. And I'm trying to, again, stay devoted to the things that I want to achieve. But dreaming doesn't have to stay in a visual aspect. It doesn't have to be written down, but it is something that you should think about. It is hard to dream. I constantly probably dream more than I should. But it's so easy to compare yourself to other people and what they're doing that you're like, I want that. Why don't I have that while they have that? You don't know the hard work that went into having the things that they have. You have no clue. So I definitely challenge you guys to have a real talk with yourself, whether that's out loud or in your head or written down, however you want to do that, and just really observe things around you, who you are, and are you where you want to be? Can you achieve any of your goals and your dreams this year, this week, this month, today? Can you make steps towards the right direction? Like I said, it's so easy to compare everyone else's world to yours and feel like you're falling behind, you're taking too long. No, two people are the same. And thank God. So now that I have this vision board, I plan to plaster it everywhere. I plan to have it as my wallpaper. I do have one of the images from my Pinterest board as my wallpaper. And I plan on putting it on my laptop, on my iPad, and trying to remind myself of what is the big picture here? What do I want to do and to achieve? And when you put a time frame of a year, you can dream a little bit bigger than things that you can achieve right now. It's okay to dream big, which brings me into next week's topic, which is dreaming big. And it's something that I would love to discuss more than just visual aesthetics. So that's what we'll be talking about next Friday. Thank you for listening. Again, take what you need, leave what you don't, and I will see you next episode. And until then, keep showing up for yourself. Bye. Bye. See ya.